Hello and welcome back to FM Wonderkids. My name is Rhys. Coming up in today's show, we'll be looking at the very best young left backs in Football Manager 2022. You might even call them Wonderkids. So don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe if you are new. We'll be looking at them now, looking at them 10 years into the future. Let me show you player number one. First up, to my left, we have Ryan Nouri. Playing at Wolves here at the start of the game, valued at between 35 and 41 million, so not cheap, but decent attributes when it comes to left backs, right? So crossing 14, dribbling 15, first touch 14, and technique 15 make this guy a saucy looking player for the future, and we will be looking at what he looks like 10 years into the future a little bit further on in the video. Nuno Tavares comes in next, the Portuguese 21-year-old, just gone past the kind of threshold of being a wonder kid, because I think you have to be under 21, but we don't mind on this channel here. He's got natural fitness 16, acceleration 15, and pace 15, as well as decent stamina, which is what you want in your fullbacks, right? Decent technically, and I mean, we're talking about fullbacks here, so not all of them are going to be that good technically, but what you want is physicality and a little bit of mentals, right? As well as like competency, I think, in tackling and maybe crossing or dribbling, right? So Tavares, check him out in 10 years time towards the end of the video. Thierry, small by name and small in age as well, 16 years old, dribbling 13, first touch 12, technique of 14 though is very, very high for 16 years old, flair of 15 and acceleration of 16 as well. I'm excited to see what he looks like in 10 years time because, to be honest, I can't quite remember. Arthur Zagre next, and look how cheap you can pick him up for, between 45k and 3.5 million, right? Acceleration, pace, off the ball, as well as technique and work rate make him almost a ready-made left back, and at the age of 19, that is good going, right? Juan Miranda will cost you between 10 and 13 million at the start of the game, and he's got decent attributes. He's 21 years old, pace, stamina, flair, determination, tackling, I mean, all these are 14 or above, as well as first touch. Check out what he looks like in 10 years time towards the end of the video. Nuno Mendes next, and there's a massive 12 players on the list today, so don't forget to hit like and subscribe, obviously, if you're new, but also if you're old. I realise there's a lot of viewers of this channel who aren't subscribed, so it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button, bottom right hand corner. Crossing and dribbling for Nuno Mendes at 14, for a 19-year-old, make this guy look like a worldie to me in this particular save. Anyway, acceleration 15, natural fitness 16, pace of 16 here, stamina of 15, and anticipation of 15, something like in my fullbacks. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. I always mention that. Anticipation, fullbacks, rock on. Luke Thomas next, the left-footed English bargain wonder kid himself, crossing 15, that's good in itself, right? Crossing 15 already for a 20-year-old English player as well. You'd probably be paying the English tax here, right? Because Leicester wants 79 million for him straight away, which is madness. But work rate 16, tackling 14 already. He's going to be an excellent player in the future, and we've got him for you in 10 years' time, so stick around. Julian Aude next, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Nothing really standing out here apart from his tackling and teamwork to me, but he's 18 years old, and you can pick him up for under 8 million. That is fantastic. I'm sure in 10 years' time that he is going to be insane. Victor Christensen next, a Danish wonder kid left back, 18 years old. Crossing, acceleration, pace, stamina, teamwork, work rate, determination, all of these are 13 or above, as well as many, many more. He's a spirited individual, and in 10 years' time, we'll check out his scout report and his history as well. Luka Nets next, a German player, acceleration 15, natural fitness 15, and pace 15. Straight away, he's got the physicals you want, right? With stamina 14, aggression 14, anticipation down at 12, which is okay, determination 18, but look how old he is, 18 years old, right? Picking up for between 35 and 51 million at the start of the game. That's quite expensive, but wait and see what he looks like in 10 years' time. Alfonso Davis, one of the top wonder kids in Football Manager 2022. 20 years old, left-footed, attacking fullback, with pace of 19 in the save already, an acceleration of 19, and natural fitness of 16. You can see why he's so highly rated, right? Dribbling of 16 as well. Teamwork, flair, determination. We could go on and on about this guy, and we will do, because we're going to look at him in 10 years' time in a little bit. Zeus Vasquez rounds off our 12 acceleration decisions, to name but a few of his 15 or above attributes. He's an 18-year-old Spanish kid. He's an enthusiastic fullback with a balanced personality. Let's fast forward now into 10 years time in the future to see what these guys look like. We'll see what their scout reports are. We'll see what the history is in terms of actual output as well. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we are, 10 years into the future. Let me just load up my scout report. And incidentally, if you want to get hold of this shortlist or any of the shortlists, and incidentally, all of the shortlists that we use on this channel, consider supporting us on Patreon. I think from as little as $2 a month, you can get hold of every single shortlist, and you obviously don't have to pay it every single month. It's as easy as clicking load shortlist and then heading on to the one you would like. So this one is called, for example, the best young left backs. Fancy that? Okay, so we'll look at Victor Christensen first, and we can see here that he's got quite decent, right, in this save. No real actual standout attributes in terms of greens, but a decent player playing at a decent kind of level, right? Looking at his history, you can see that he hasn't really had the amount of games that you would need to develop him to the top level, so he could definitely get better for you in your save. My scout tells me that he is a fairly consistent performer, which is huge, and also relishes big matches, which is great. Julian Orde next, and we're going to go from kind of like worst recommended signings here in 2031 from my scout up to best, right? So stay tuned until the end to see the very, very best. Left-footed, agility 16, tackling 16, positioning 16. He's definitely developed very, very well. Could potentially get better. Let's have a look to see how he has been developed in terms of game time. Okay, 3 games there and 0 games there in 2030 means, again, you could hopefully get him better in your save. And don't forget, guys, like some of these potential abilities are variable as well. He might actually start off better in your save as well. He's got an average rating here of 7.5, which is very, very good. And my scouts tell me that not only is he a balanced and normal personality, but also is a consistent performer, which is very, very green here, which indicates a high consistency attribute. Arthur Zagre next, concentration of 16, which is cool, and agility of 17 is absolutely sick. He's got the physicals, he's got the technicals, just about. I mean, tackling is a little bit low there at 12. Let's see how he's developed. 7.14 average rating, missed out on a lot of game time for about 4 seasons. You can get him better. My scout tells me he's a fairly consistent performer, enjoys big matches, and shows a fairly ambitious nature, which are all very, very positive. Luke Thomas next, someone who was quite exciting at the start of the game. Look how versatile he is, by the way, in terms of positions. Hasn't really exploded like we would have wanted if we'd have paid like 79 million to Leicester. Work rate 16. Let's have a look at his history. A couple of seasons here where he hasn't really had the development. He went to Man City actually for 18 million, which is interesting, and then went to play in the United Arab Emirates, which is mad. 7.09 as an average rating, and his balanced and normal personality is backed up with a huge green consistent performer and a huge green for relishes big matches. Luke Thomas is a buy all day long. Juan Miranda next, comfortable all the way up the left hand side of the pitch here. He's 30 years old actually, natural fitness 16. Nothing else really pops off, but he is obviously competent in that left back role as well as centre back as well actually. He's 6'1". His development has been decent. He's had a lot of games. He's played for decent teams. So it's slightly worrying that he hasn't hit the heights that he probably should do, with a huge consistent performer attribute and enjoys big matches in the green there as well. Nuno Tavares then, again, natural fitness 16. He's bossing it on the physicals, decent on the mentals, but again, the technicality probably lets him down a little bit. In terms of development, 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons, I would say, where he's been criminally underplayed, which has probably affected how poorly his attributes have developed, if that makes sense. If we look at the scout report, though, underlying stats tell us that he is a fairly consistent performer. Zeus Vasquez has developed a little bit better, like tackling, first touch, crossing, all 13 or above. Decision 16, flair 15, acceleration 16, and look at that pace and stamina as well. That's what you want. Looking at his history, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I would say, where he's been criminally underplayed, so you can get him better in your save if obviously the other variables are in your favour. Possesses great pace, is a fairly consistent performer. He is a good player. Get him into your sides if you can. Eerie small next, not so small anymore. Look how fast he is. Acceleration 17, pace 16. He's got flair of 16 as well. Dribbling of 15 here, but technically, again, probably lacking if you wanted to play him in these defensive roles. Let's see what his history has been like, because I got a feeling, yeah, I'm right. Look, no games for 2 seasons in a row. Absolutely, well, it's just negligent to me, if I'm going to be honest. 6.78 as an average rating over those years. So much under playing from his teams. Should have been played more if you want to develop this guy. Acceleration underpins his overall speed. No consistent performer though, and no enjoys big matches as far as I can see, but he is an ambitious individual who's always looking to win. Ryan 8 Nouri next then, as we pop into our top 4 or 5. Anticipation 15, agility 16, and stamina 15. We're getting into the world-class left-backs now. Technique 16, positioning 17, concentration and anticipation both 16. In terms of his history, like, he's had some good development. Every single season, you can see here, he's played over 30 games, right? That's very, very good indeed. Looking at his scout reports, and incidentally, 7.05 average rating is pretty good as well. He's a fairly consistent performer, and that's about it, to be fair. Very, very good player. Alfonso Davis next, 30 years old here in 2031. Absolutely bossing it in terms of physicals, absolutely bossing it in terms of mentals, and pretty decent in terms of technicals as well. With dribbling, 16. His history tells us that, again, developed very, very well. You've got 30 plus games in most seasons here. My scout report tells me, guess what? Enjoys big matches and is a fairly consistent performer. Alfonso Davis is a buy all day long. Nuno Mendes next. A little bit underwhelming in terms of greens, but anticipation, agility, pace and natural fitness are what you want from your fullbacks. Trust me, tackling a 14 is good. Crossing a 15 is excellent in this position. He's got vision of 15 as well, which is an added kind of bonus. But I told you before, anticipation I think is very important, and there's no wonder he's playing for PSG here in this save. Looking into his history, we can see again his development has been very good, right? There's a theme here. The best signings here in 2031 have been consistently played at a high level. Look, he's played at PSG 30 plus games for the past 10 years by the look of it. Average rating of 7.34. A very, very good player indeed, who is a consistent performer and enjoys big matches. Luka Nets then here in 2031 comes as the highest rated signing for my team from my particular scouts. And look at his physical, 17, 16, 16, 16 in terms of agility, acceleration, pace and stamina. Determination 16, he's bossing it on the mentals with an anticipation of 14 there. Tackling lets him down a little bit at 12, I would say, but crossing and dribbling at 13 is good. Mark my words. History then, 7.28 is his average rating over the years. Criminally underplayed in just 2 seasons, so hopefully you could get this guy, who is a fairly consistent performer, better in your saves. Thank you so much for watching. Do hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you are new. You can check out some of my other videos above as well. See you soon.